We left the scenic shores of Cape Town and the iconic Table Mountain and went on a road trip along the coast. Normally a few hours, this long way around took us 2 days and deposited us in what is known as the Garden Route, with its green forests and dramatic coastline. But we got hungry. So we're taking the scenic trip to George from Cape Town, and we stopped in Gaans Bay, only an hour in to come to the Wimpy. As soon as we rounded the coast to Steenbras, we entered a wilderness of endless beauty and rough seas. It's hard to believe that the city is only 15 minutes away. These mountains stayed with us the whole day, and so did she. With endless stops along the way and not enough time to enjoy them all, we pressed on, enjoying every minute of this Middle Earth-like backdrop. I've heard a lot about Pringle Bay, but found it quite a strange little town. Of course, any excuse to eat Pringles. The town did capture the mood of this journey though. Moving on to Hermanus, where we definitely got a speeding fine. We found the town populated with these very disturbing statues, but also famous for its whale watching and shark activity. We partook in none of that and instead just opted to enjoy the power of the ocean. We continued steadily east along the coast, heading to Kogel Bay for the night. A small little fishing village set just off the southern tip of Africa, which we were set to visit the next day. We awoke to some inclement weather, but as they say, there is no inappropriate weather, only inappropriate clothing. So we're at the southern tip of Africa right now. It's a pity about the weather, but here we are nonetheless.
We travelled for 5 hours and plus another 5 hours.
Long time, hey boy.
Yes.
Go. This is part of a nature reserve which is all very well kept, but we arrived at a nice surprise. I love maps, and we've got this giant map of Africa here. How cool is that? There you go, Table Mountain.
A tiny Table Mountain.
There's our Drakensberg. Narrow. Ethiopia's here somewhere where we landed the other day.
We landed in Ethiopia. We landed in Ethiopia.
And the grand old Nile. That is the very end of Africa. Due south.
Obviously,
Let's go to the southern tip. You're now at the southernmost tip of the continent of Africa. Incidentally, after we finished our journey, I found an old picture of my brother at this exact spot about 34 years ago. Go out that way, you get to Antarctica. That's cool, man.
I am in the Indian Ocean.
Soaked, we had to buy dry clothes, but wanted to visit the isolated town of Arniston. It is a modern town, but we went to see the cottages that were built when this was just a lonely fishing village. With no coast road, we headed inland through the vast farming areas, isolated and quiet. Got an ostrich coming up here. The Malgas river crossing on this ferry, middle of nowhere here, man. Check this. How are you, buddy? Good, man. I also found this picture of my brother and me on the same crossing decades ago, doing the same journey but in the opposite direction. From there we hit the motorway, heading through yet more infinite farmland, and eventually arrived at the very picturesque town of Mossel Bay. With the only beach in South Africa facing true north, Mossel Bay is actually infinitely historic in that it is the first place a European explorer ever set foot in South Africa. We could not stay long as the journey had to end in George and the day was late. We arrived in George in the dark with not much to show for this video. But click on the links at the end to see our adventures continue.